Happy Wednesday to you. It's the day where we're in the middle and we can see the end of our trek and where we're going for the week. And so hopefully your week is going good and you're making the progress that you want to make. But maybe you're not. Maybe as you look at what you're doing, it just seems hopeless. Maybe you're not getting the results that you would like to be getting this week. I feel you. Sometimes, the things we're hoping for just don't materialize as quickly as we want them to. Or maybe we're just kind of stuck. I don't know. Have you ever experienced that? I'm sure you have. I think we all experience that at different times. And as we've been having this conversation with Colleen, I think we can think about it like, oh, well, if we were called, like all the lights would be green and we would just be able to get there. But that's not really the case, right? That's sort of this romantic. Maybe you think that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about some kind of romantic, oversimplified thing where God calls you and it's all, and we just all, get down the path and everything we want happens. I don't see calling that way at all. Actually, calling is often there's just a lot of difficulties. There's a lot of hardship that comes after it. Moses is called before he goes to Egypt and asks Pharaoh to let his people go and goes through all of these trials. And then he's called to all of this time with the Israelites in the desert. And it's super difficult. It's not simple, it's ongoing. And there's a lot of things you could talk about, like what that progress happens on. But I just want to talk about the one thing that's really clear, like how do you get there? How do you navigate this when it seems almost impossible? I mean, Moses basically says to God, like, I'm not really a good talker. I don't know. He gives him all these reasons, but he gets there, right? I think we can all come up with reasons why sometimes we don't want to take that call because it's difficult. But assuming we take it, how do we get there? Well, I think, when you think about taking a trip, yesterday we had to fly back uh, from Atlanta, and obviously not really a big deal for us in a modern day. When you think about any kind of historic voyage, there's there's anything we have to do today is relatively short. But you know, you've got to go through all the things you got to do to make a journey happen. And most of the time when you're doing that, it's not in sight. Like 99.9% of the time, your destination is not in sight. And anywhere along the way, things can slow you down. But we still have faith that we're going to get there. So what about you with your dreams? Do you have faith that you're going to get there? Right? What's the one thing that actually makes you get there? Right? And I love, like, Stephen Covey in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, has the first 3 habits are really about self, right? The first one is to be proactive. You must take the initiative. You must be proactive. And so if you're going to complete your calling, if you're going to do the things that you want to do, you must do them, right? The second one is to begin with the end in mind. And this is that journey. Like, I see this is where God's calling me to go. Great. Now I know what the end looks like. But then the very next thing is do first things first. And I think we think of that and we go, oh, well, okay, I got to do the first thing. And then what? Well, the next first thing, right? That's always the answer. It's do the next right thing, take the next right step. And while faith is difficult, like seeing how we're going to get there is difficult, taking the next right step is usually really obvious. It doesn't take a whole lot of faith. It's just like, this is the next right step. Whether I'm frustrated with it, whether it's annoying, whether it's difficult, whatever, it is the next right step. And I can get held up. I can get caught up and go, you know, brah. Yesterday, I kind of told you a little bit about passion, and we were going through this TSA line. And I don't mean to pick on anybody that's TSA because that's a hard job to do for sure. But we were going through that line, and they were doing, I think, an experiment in another section, but they were only letting 5 people go at a time. So right as we came up to that line, they had let 5 people go, and then they shut it down. And so this one woman was like, "Well, why can't I go there?" And the woman says, "They only let me do 5 people at a time," and we go on, and then we just had this huge line of people that we had to wait through. Um, and so that was a little frustrating, right? It's like, well, hold on, why can't we go through this one that's completely empty? And no, we're going to sit in this long line because y'all are doing some experiment over here. But they've got to be testing things, right? And so we could sit there and get frustrated with, and admittedly we stopped, and I was asking, trying to ask somebody there, and this other guy tried to cut, and they got frustrated with him, and so then when I was trying to ask them the question, they thought I was with him, and they were frustrated with me, and so all of that was kind of annoying, and we were having a conversation about how annoying it was. But it really wasn't a big deal, and we had plenty of time. We weren't in any hurry, so uh, it wasn't any big deal. We just needed to kind of go, okay, well, we got to stick in this line, and we got to go through this, and whatever frustrations it is or whatever. So what? It's the thing that must be done. And so what must be done is to take the next step. And that is what we're called to do. We're called to, in faith, just keep taking that next step and keep trusting that God's going to bring us there. And that's really what it gets down to, right? Is, do we trust Him when we can't see the end result yet? Well, you know, we fly across the country. I've gone on trips around the world, multiple different hops. Every single one of those, something could go wrong. I mean, a plane could go down. I could miss the plane. A car could happen. Any number of things could happen. And then sometimes some of those things have happened. But then we just took the next right step and kept going, right? We just reevaluated, okay, now what? And took the next right step and kept trusting that we would make our destination. And in our calling, the thing is that we just have to trust that God is going to do something with what we are doing, with the effort He's asked us to put in. That as we, plant those seeds and water and cultivate and do the things that we need to do to create the thing He's put in our heart to create, that He is going to bless it and that it is going to grow. And that is why we were talking yesterday that calling is worship, right? I am trusting you, Lord, because you are good and because you care about me and you care about what you've asked me to do, that as I take the steps that I'm taking, you're going to breathe life into them and put it together. So I don't know how you're feeling today, but keep trusting. And listen, I'm no different, right? Right? For instance, here we are in the middle of, we're almost in the late part of January, and I've been inviting people to let me do a free session with them. And, only a few people have participated in that. So I don't know. I have to think about it. Maybe I'm not asking in the right way. Maybe I need to put something different out. I have to kind of come back to God and say, okay, I didn't manage to get 8 people. Now, of course, we're not at the end of the month yet, right? So maybe He's going to do something miraculous here. I'm going to keep trusting Him, but I'm also going to keep doing my part in that to evaluate it and take the next right step. Like if I was taking a travel trip and I miss my flight, I can't just say, well, okay, God's going to do some kind of miracle and bring the flight back. No, I got to do my part and go, okay, well, that got blocked for whatever reason, right? Probably because of me. I probably was late or something, but but whether it's me or not, right? Whatever it is, I need to deal with that reality. If it was me and I was late, if it was, some other reason that the flight was canceled, I've had that happen many times. The only thing to do is then to go, okay, that's the truth. That's the reality God has in front of me. but he still told me to go. So what's the next right step? And keep trusting him. So I hope you'll keep trusting him, and I hope you'll trust me, that I would love to support you. And like I said, free of charge, um, no strings attached. I love setting aside some number of people that I can coach and help move forward every month, right? I have some coaching clients I'm always working with, but it's great to be able to, work with somebody completely different and help them out. And even if it's just that one time, it's awesome. I love it. I really do love doing that. So I hope that you will take me up on it. And because I'm still trusting that God's going to provide 8 people that I can have a free coaching session with this month. I hope you're one of them. So please, reach out to me. You can follow my booking links, select a coaching session, use 2020 call as a coupon code. It'll be completely free for you. Or you can just message me inside Instant Messenger and I'll reach out to you. And I think a few people reached out to me actually while I was on vacation, so I'm going to be connecting with them today. But anyway, hopefully you will take me up on it, and hopefully you're continuing to trust God in your call today. And let me know if this was valuable to you. Take care. Have a good day.